Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This one is a little weird, and unfortunately I made the mistake of erasing the fault code. But it's about the 2017 Chevy Sonic, my personal car for the last, I don't know, 4 years. But here's what's going on. It's not doing it now because I erased the damn fault like an idiot, but it will eventually come on. But I'll just tell you what's going on. So most of you know this car from the transmission control unit that I replaced on it. It's been running great ever since. And just recently, about a couple weeks ago, the fans just came on. The cooling fans just kept running. The second I started the car, the cooling fans just ran. I'm like, what the heck is that? You know, I'm driving around and the whole dash is shaking and there's rattling going on everywhere, and I'm like, and I couldn't tell what it was. I thought I had a wheel vibration or something because I couldn't hear that the fans were on because all the windows were closed. It was kind of cool that day. So I got out of the car and I literally lifted the hood. I knew right away when I got out of the car that the fans were on, so I popped the hood and confirmed that the fans were on, and literally the car just started that. You know, I just started the car up, drove down the block, and noticed that, you know, that noise and saw that the fans were on. So I was wondering what the heck's going on, and there was no check engine light. That's what got me. So I did a scan. This is the Zurich cheap scan tool I have, Zurich ZR13, and I've been using it for many years now. It works great. It's got the global OBD2, and I scanned the fault, and it turned out to be a thermostat fault. So this is just you know, a warning type of post, because I was pretty stumped on it, because well, I should say all thermostat faults should have an actual fault code and trigger a check engine light, and this one did not. And the only way I knew was that the fans were on. So first thing I thought was, oh, maybe the coolant was low, and then because that can trigger, you know, that thermostat fault because the coolant level is low, but the coolant level was dead on. So I went in there at fault, and it went away. And then the next Saturday, because I used this car for business, for estimating, once every Saturday is when it gets used. And the first time the fans were on, I figured it out, deleted the fault code, and then the fans shut off and it was fine. And then the next Saturday I went out to drive again, and halfway during my, actually not even halfway, literally maybe an hour into my estimating time, which I was out all day, the fans came on again. And then sure enough, I scanned it again, and it's the same fault code came back. So no check engine light as well on that second time. So pretty much the fix was a thermostat. I bought a thermostat on eBay. The new, so this is the sensor here. That's the thermostat connector right there. This is the thermostat housing. A lot of the ones on eBay came with the other plastic piece. I'm not sure, manifold or something, whatever, thermostat housing manifold, whatever you want to call it. It's just a big chunk of plastic. I didn't order that. I just ordered the actual thermostat with the sensor in it, or the thermostat. I don't think it's a sensor. I think it's the actual electronic thermostat. I keep saying sensor, but it's not. So that connector turns, actually opens and closes the thermostat. So here it is. That's the connector, and here is the thermostat. The new one I bought, it's not an OEM one. They were ridiculously expensive. The GM OEM thermostat was like $150, just the thermostat. And if you wanted the whole block piece, because I guess they're plastic and they leak, it was like $2 something. So I went with the aftermarket one, and the aftermarket one is aluminum. So that's where we're at. And these electronic thermostats, and I wish we can go back in the day where you just had the regular thermostats, because you know those regular thermostats, yeah, they failed, but you knew it. And this damn thing didn't give me any warning. It just clicked on the fans just out of nowhere. Ran great the previous week, and then the next week I started the car right up from sitting for a week, and boom, the fans clicked on. So let's replace this thermostat. I have it here. So this is the new piece. It was cheap, honestly. You know, it's probably made in China, or definitely made in China. But it is aluminum instead of the plastic. And there you can see there is the connector. Oh, let me take the damn thing out of here. All right, now it's out of the bag. Here is the thermostat. It's all aluminum, as compared to the OEM one, which is just a ABS or plastic, whatever you want to call it. So JDM Speed, there you go. There's the Chinese manufacturer. There is the connector, and it's an electric thermostat, so that pretty much controls the opening and closing. And the fault code was for excessive time to heat up. So the thermostat was probably open, and it could not adjust the thermostat closed or open anymore. So how it works is the computer times it. Don't ask me how the time is. I don't. That's electrical engineering geek type stuff. But the computer, once the car starts up and you start driving it, it's looking for that time frame where the engine heats up. It's going based on a bunch of stuff, you know, outside temp, you know, etc. So it has a parameter that engine needs to come up to operating temperature in this amount of time, and if it doesn't do so, it's supposed to flick your check engine light on. So I'm not sure why this one did not. That's why I was confused as to why the cooling fans were on, but that's part of the programming. It should have turned the check engine light on, and the cooling fans would have clicked on to keep the engine cool, because it doesn't know how the thermostat failed. All it knows is it failed, and it's an emergency protocol. Turn the fans on, keep the engine cool, and that's it. So enough rambling on. Let's change this thermostat. Okay, first things first, we obviously got to drain the coolant. I'm going to remove the reservoir and kind of flip it over just to get out of my way, just to make some room in here. Everything appears to be straightforward. It looks like you got 10mm nuts there, or screws, sorry. You got a hose clamp, and then it looks like you have star bits. So you need actually an inverted star. You need an inverted star set, and there's one, looks like there's four bolts holding that thermostat on, and I think that's about it. All right, let's get the tools ready, and let's start disassembling. There's the inverted Torx, so that's what you need to get the thermostat off. And obviously you'll need to reuse them because the new one does not come with the bolts. Don't quote me on this, but I think it was like 25 bucks as compared to like 150 for the OEM one. That was a no-brainer there. Alright, 10 mil. Can you see this? Got a new addition to the family behind me, a 1.5-year-old German Shepherd. So, and that's lost forever. So if you hear any crying or barking in the background, that is definitely her. I'll have to get that with the magnet. Plenty of room here. Somebody zip tied that. That's the solution. Oh man, I don't know. To you new viewers, this car was crashed. It has a rebuilt title, so all this was damaged. This was their mounting of the control unit. It's just sitting in the battery tray like that. I was gonna go to a junkyard, but it's a 2017 that's crashed, rebuilt title. Who cares? All right, now the messy part. This is gonna get messy because you know it's not all of the coolant is not gonna go in that pan. There's a tool they sell. You know, I used to work at a dealership, and you know, these clamps, they sell that tool. It's got a cable connected to it. It looks like a big rectangular block, and it squeezes the clamps nicely for those. I never bought one, but they are damn nice to have. But back then, the early 2000s, it was a new tool, and they wanted a ridiculous amount for them. And good old channel locks or pliers will work on open places like that, but in tight corners, that tool is nice. Holly, why are you crying? Looks like I got half of it in and half out. While that's draining, I'm gonna go get that magnet. For those of you who, you know, want to do this, you're not mechanically inclined, it's very simple. I would definitely recommend doing this. Basic set of hand tools will do it. You do have to include the inverted torques on those. Like I said, these are snap-on tools. They're outrageously expensive. You know, they're for the professionals. But you can definitely get away with going to Harbor Freight. Get yourself some cheap tools. get this done, because the dealership, even though this is simple as hell, dealership's probably going to charge you for 400, 500 bucks to do this. And you know, because you got to buy their part, the OEM part. Even a shop is still going to be pretty expensive. A non-GM shop. Don't be afraid to try. You know, nowadays stuff's expensive. Save as much as you can. One size. If you want to save even more money, it is inverted Torx 10. So E10 is the size. I'm guessing that's 10 millimeter, but that is the size of what you would need if you want to just buy this one socket to save yourself some money, because you'll probably never use it again if you don't do this all the time. It's at 25 bucks for the thermostat. So if you want to do this yourself and you don't have the tools, 25 bucks for the thermostat. Figuring you could probably get this set at Harbor Freight for probably 15-20 bucks, or I don't know if Harbor Freight's going to sell a single socket, but I mean 15-20 bucks for a socket set. And then Harbor Freight sells a bunch of just regular basic hand tools. You just need something, you know, with a ratchet, extension, basic sockets. These are hex sockets. They're 5.6 points. These are 6-point sockets, and then they have 12-point sockets to get to in little tighter places, so you can actually get the ratchet in there more. Or you can use a impact gun on these, like the small little electric ones. But you still need the socket set. So probably maybe $75 to $100 in parts and tools. You supply your own labor, and you do it yourself, and you should probably save $300 from the dealer, maybe even more. I haven't been to a dealer in a long time. Their labor rate is pretty high, and then they upcharge you like crazy on price, part price too. Dealers got to make money if they're surviving. Not from me. Hopefully, if you're watching this, not from you. This was just a weird one. I don't know why the check engine light didn't turn on. And I double checked to make sure the bulb wasn't burned out or something. There's an LED inside the dash. The check engine light does come on when you start it up on first start. And then it does its check and then goes away. That's normal. It was just weird that a thermostat fault didn't trigger a check engine light. This is like a never-ending screw. It's just corroded in there, I guess. randomly talking just to say something, because it's kind of boring watching me unscrew things or unbolt things. So part of that investment, if you want to do this yourself, definitely save your coolant, because you can reuse it. Coolant is, well, what is it, like $10–15 a gallon now? And then GM, of course, GM has to use their own coolants. You know, Ford, every manufacturer uses their own damn color coolant, so you really don't want to mix them, because that'll create another problem. They do sell coolant that you can mix with any color, but don't use that. Just get the same damn coolant as what the car offers, manufactured ones. Someone says you can mix it, and then you see what they do when you mix coolants. It turns the whole coolant system into a big sludge pot. Then it costs a fortune to clean all that out. That does not sound like a good noise when you want to unscrew a bolt. Remember, this housing is plastic. I'm assuming it has brass inserts in the plastic housing or something. That's what you hear squeaking. Probably a rusted bolt going through there. How long are these screws? Or bolts? They do not look very long. Just a little on the rusty side. That was all the squeaking. Bottom is tight. Ooh, that's not good. Well, that would explain why it stopped working. That's not good. That if there's rust in your cooling system, or parts are rusting, then your coolant mix is probably more water than coolant. So this will definitely need a flush. Luckily, I do have some coolant in the garage here, so let's swap it out. It's bad. Ooh, that is bad. Let's swap this one out. So there's the difference. This one is, aluminum. This is, I don't know, ABS plastic. Who the hell knows? I'm gonna take these bolts and clean them up really quick. I'll be right back. Alright, just WD-40'd them and hit them with a wire brush. Good enough. Clean up the surface area here. Let me spray some WD in there. Just gonna spray some WD in the bolt. Sure that gasket's set in there and it doesn't fall out, because then you'll be doing it again. Get in there. Looks the same. Exactly the same. So far, it's going in. Bolt holes don't look right. Hey, 25 versus 150. You're gonna have a little bit of fitment issues. Alright, last one. And that's how you drop your ratchet, scratch up your headlight and your bumper. If it was a nice car, I wouldn't care. Or I would care. If it was a nice car, I would care. I can't talk to you. Going in a lot smoother than it came out, so that's good. A little WD-40 and a wire wheel does the trick. Holly, why are you crying? And don't get crazy with the torque on these. They're small bolts, 10, 15 foot-pounds, probably 10 foot-pounds is probably really all you really need. Boy, I wish I had an air ratchet right now. Oh, yeah, I do. I'm just too lazy to turn the compressor on and get the hose. Yeah, that's me. I'm doing it manual, with manual tools, just for you guys. see what it's like. Never ending bolt, come on. Alright, so hand tight with just a little extra. I don't know the torque spec offhand, but figure about 10 foot-pounds. It's a very small bolt. You plug your connector back in. And that is essentially job done. Get your hose. As far as complexity, I'd give it a 2 out of 10. You know, if it didn't have those special Torx bolts, because nobody really, the DIYer is not really going to have that ratchet or that socket, that type of socket, inverted Torx. So, you know, the fact that you got to go out and buy a set just to do it, I'd give it a 2 out of 10. Otherwise, it'd be a 1 out of 10. It was pretty simple DIY job for you. Pretty simple. The hardest part was probably diagnosing it because the damn check engine light didn't turn on. And all I heard was my cooling fans running. And I saw the cooling fans running, and then I saw the coolant reservoir was full. I was like, oh, there's something else wrong, and then I scanned it and saw that fault code. So I mean, every car I've come across, that fault code triggers a check engine light. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. I ended up driving that second Saturday that the fans kicked on. I ended up driving most of the day with the fans running, so I forgot my scan tool. I took it out of the car Saturday before the first time it came on, so I wasn't able to erase the fault to shut the fans off. But that is it in a nutshell. It is done. I'm gonna do what you should not do and just take this probably watered down coolant and put that right back in the car, and then I'll do a flush later on. This is nasty. There is nasty stuff in here. I don't know if you probably can't see it. It looks like I'm rich with gold flake, but unfortunately it's not gold. There's a lot of sparkles in there. I don't know why sparkles would be in the cooling system. hoping it's just dirt that was taken off of it as it was dripping down the transmission. Yep, that's exactly what it looks like. And yes, some of the dirt is going back in the cooling system. Like I said, I will flush it later. A lot of it's staying at the bottom of the catch pan. I don't know if you could see that, but definitely don't put that back in your cooling system. Like I said, don't do what I just did. Factor in some coolant. So you'll probably be around $100 with the coolant if you do this yourself and you don't have the tools. So. Alright, job done. Let's start it up and see if we broke anything. Check engine light turned on. Kind of start up, which is normal, and then went off. It's flowing. See, I don't know if you can see that. You can see the coolant flowing through there, so the pump is working good. The thermostat is partially open. I'm assuming it has a bypass, a small bypass, because you don't want it completely closed, but some of it does get through there. So let it run. And if yours fails, hopefully it's not rusted like that. So, you know, coolant isn't lifetime. Despite what some of the manufacturers say. Same with transmission fluid, that's not lifetime. When they say it's lifetime, that means it's lifetime of the warranty. So you should not have to replace that fluid for the lifetime of the manufacturer's warranty. That's where they get you. Because they don't want you replacing that stuff because they want to make money on you when it breaks. They don't become billionaires by selling, you know, cars that don't break. And that's every manufacturer. That's, you can praise your Hondas and your Toyotas all you want, but they break. They all break. There's no such thing as 100% reliability. And you know, that all factors in on the owner too. You know, if the owner's not doing anything, they're gonna break. Not doing any maintenance, they're gonna break it sooner. So that's a wrap for this one. I may have plans for this car, you know, since I can't really sell it. Nobody wants it because it's got 125,000 miles on it and it has a rebuilt title. I paid a lot of money for it back in 2020, at the end of 2021, when used cars were worth more than gold. So I bought it just for work to estimate. So it's been doing good, you know, regular maintenance, you know, oil changes. I had to replace the brake rotors, calipers, and front pads on it, and now the thermostat. But otherwise, I really haven't done anything else to this. I did do a brake fluid bleed, just general maintenance. I'm probably going to be due for this serpentine belt. I did the timing belt on this at 100,000 when it's due, and I didn't change the serpentine belt. So it's a lot more work. You got to pull the upper the mount, the engine mount off to replace the belt. So because you ain't getting in there. so that's extra work I should have done 25,000 miles ago, but that's a wrap. Please, I'm not getting any likes, subscriptions, heck, even comments I'm not even getting. You guys help me out. Please like, subscribe, and keep this going. I haven't posted in a while because my last post, I think I got like 9 views on it, so I haven't really had the motivation to make any more videos. So please help a man out, because I'd like to do more stuff. Future project would be, that is a loud tick. When the RPM drop down, that is a pretty loud tick. Huh. Well, my oil service is due. I do have to change oil. That'll be next. But I'm thinking of a turbo, stage 1 turbo build on this one. So I need you guys to like and subscribe in order for me to do that. Because I'm a family man, a father of 3 and a sole income of 3 daughters and a wife. So there's not much money to go around to get this done. But no more babbling from me. Appreciate y'all, those very few that have been watching. But please like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.